Due to the India Space Congress 2025, Day 3, Session 1, we are starting our new session, and this session is going to be about data fusion, AI analytics, turning pixel into profits. For this, I have privilege to invite dignitaries on the dais. May I now invite our session chair and moderator, Mr. Manoj Chugh Advisory, our moderator. Please, sir, start the session. Thank you, sir.
All right, is everyone feeling okay? Can we get everyone together? We're just a few people, right, in the room, guys at the back. No marks for being at the back, you know. All right, there's going to be a quiz at the end of this, all right? So if you sit in the front, the seats are all empty here, guys. Please feel free, come right in the front. We're going to have a great interactive session. This session's not about you're sitting at the back doing WhatsApp. It's going to be about talking of interesting things. So if we can gather together, it's going to be wonderful for us. I'd like to invite my co-panelists, Wing Commander Sudhakaran, please, a warm welcome and a warm round of applause for him. Mr. Dipyaman Banerjee, for Dipyaman as well. For Árisz, who's come all the way from Budapest, very warm welcome to you. We were all here waiting for some gifts that you would have got for us from beautiful Budapest. So are you going to give the gifts after they listen to your session? All right, okay. Thank you. And again, a very, very warm welcome to friend Vinay, all the way from Bangalore. Are we all here? Vinay, please come. Are you coming from some satellite up there? You know, because that's where you do all your hard work. So warm round of applause for my fellow co-panelists. Gentlemen, please take your seats, and let me take a quick minute to share a little bit about what they all do. First of all, Wing Commander Sudhakaran sitting next to me is a decorated Indian Air Force officer who decided to move into a journey of transformation and has become a very, very successful tech entrepreneur. So a great job, and fantastic for making that big leap of faith. His firm is called QuGates. They are doing phenomenal work in the area of AI-powered solutions across many critical domains. He likes to be known as the intelligence alchemist. And I have been having a very interesting conversation with him, and he's a multifaceted innovator. You're going to have great fun listening to his points of view. Dipyaman Banerjee. Dipyaman is the CEO of the Innovation Hub for Cyber Physical Systems at IIT Kharagpur, my alma mater. So I'm always delighted to have friends who come from my alma mater. He's worked for 2 decades across research, worked with unicorns, worked with the industry, and I think he's done brilliant work in building startups from academic scientific research. And that's when my path actually crossed with Dipyaman's. He's doing great work in terms of bringing together the entire ecosystem, and his corporate experience is doing very well for him in this new role. I'd like to also once again welcome Árisz here, all the way from Budapest, works for 4IG, a space and defense technologies firm, and his organization does everything. They go build satellites, manufacture them, do the ground segment, remote data sensing, data processing, and Árisz here looks after implementation of a lot of these programs, starting from the upstream, going right down to data processing. So there's not a single segment of space he has left for others. Again, a very warm welcome to Vinay, sitting on my right. Vinay is the co-founder of Skyserve, and they do very interesting work as well. In fact, I was chatting with him, and they actually deploy AI-powered Earth observation applications on board satellites. The closest I have got to doing what Vinay has done is to build applications for computers on the ground. So maybe we've just got a distance of a few thousand miles between the work that he's done and I have done in my career. They are known for being amongst the top 100 innovations for geospatial data processing, and recently completed a mission with NASA. So great job, Vinay. Keep up the good work. As we dive into this discussion, I want to begin with a factoid. I want to ask all you guys, do you know how much of data is captured by satellites, Earth observation data captured by satellites during the course of a day? Anyone has any idea? How much data is getting captured? It's lots of data, right? You agree or not? It's 100 terabytes of Earth observation data that is collected every day. But we all know that data alone is not of great value. What is of great value is how we can turn this data into insight, how we convert this data into something that is actionable and which can create positive impact. We've all heard of pixels because what's our topic today? Our topic is interesting. It's data fusion, AI and analytics, turning pixels into profits. Now, Wing Commander Sudhakaran is not very happy with the topic, so I apologize to him. And he's not because, pixels have been associated with images. But today, with the power of AI, ML, multimodal fusion, we are trying to convert these pixels into profits so that we can drive smarter applications, whether it's agriculture, whether it is climate resilience and so on and so forth. So lots of things that we can do. And I believe that India is very uniquely positioned with the capabilities that ISRO has, the growing ecosystem of EO startups, and we've got fantastic innovators on this panel. And I think what we are trying to see in terms of emerging public-private partnership, we're going to see global best practices getting implemented right here at home. So a lot of exciting work happening in this space. So we have a huge opportunity, frankly, to unlock the full potential of the transformation that's occurring here. And I'm looking forward to an incredibly energizing discussion where we're going to move beyond buzzwords. We're going to look at business outcomes. And I'm sure my panelists are going to help us to reimagine how we can convert Earth's data into Earth's dividends. And I do hope that that is where you're going to find interest this morning. With that, I'd like to turn this over to my fellow panelists for their opening comments. Dipyaman, we can begin with you. You're at my far left. Take a couple of minutes, share opening comments, and we'll go right round. And after that, I'm going to really open this up to a discussion. And hope you enjoy it. Hope you too join in the discussion. So Dipyaman, over to you, please, for your opening comments.
Thank you.
You just have to turn it on. I think just the green button has to show up. Yeah.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Manoj, for your kind words and an amazing introduction. My respect and a very good morning to our fellow panelists and our anchor, Mr. Manoj Chugh. It has been a pleasure to be a part of this Congress, and I had been here for the last 2 days, enjoying all these amazing sessions and learning a lot of stuff about and how data, satellite data, and all these things can be used in tandem with AI and can actually lead to great value and profitability. There are many, many sessions which also gave me a lot of insights. But before I get into that, and we'll talk about more on the profitability part, use cases part, a quick trivia, right? A quick trivia, quick quiz, if you can say. So what is common between these 4 space voyage movies? 2001, A Space Odyssey, Star Trek, Star Wars, and the recent one, Interstellar. Can anyone say? There is a common theme across all these 4 movies. All of them has an AI on board. So Interstellar had TARS, Star Wars had C-3PO and R2-D2. Star Trek, of course, had Data in the Star Trek Next Generation, and Space Odyssey had HAL 9000, a rogue robot, but yeah, nonetheless, an AI robot. So you see, the story of human and space is incomplete without AI. So, and we will see that how AI can, in this course of this amazing conversation that we'll have, that how AI can actually make this data that we are capturing through satellites, sensors, make this data really valuable and create actionable insights from that. So that would be, we'll can't wait to dive into this conversation. So thank you, Manoj.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for introducing me, Mr. Manoj Chugh, our moderator for the day. And thanks for telling that I was not happy with the topic. And there is a reason why he said so. Because the problem with AI is the definition of the term is distorted to the core. The reason is that the consequence of that is that many of us don't even understand what it is. We don't even know where it begins and where it ends. And that means in this treasure hunt, he also said that I'm an intelligence alchemist. Alchemist, if you know, the one who transforms any material into gold. And in the realm of intelligence, it's a holy grail. Now, that's what the entire humanity is behind today. You must have heard about how Meta is churning out billions of dollars to get those brains, to get past that AGI singularity threshold. We as a country have not even begun the race, and we yet claim the distinction of being an AI power. Are we? Or are we running behind a technology which is distorted, which is distracted, and which is towards a destination which is a dead end? And that came from the term predictive intelligence. So let me put it very clearly for you why I was dissatisfied and why we need to get that definition straight. So if you talk about what AI is, it is nothing but the ability of machines to be able to exhibit intelligence at par or better than a human intelligence. It's as simple as that. That's what we are behind. But then, while the original definition stays, a lot of people who have created alternative definitions because they believed that they can't reach there. Marketing gimmicks, as we would say. So can there be something like predictive intelligence? It can't be. Why? We are technically labeling automation as intelligence because your intelligence is distinctly divided into three compartments. One is intelligence by your ability to compare and deliver the results. For example, you see me today, tomorrow somebody asks you who I am, you will be able to fetch my image from your memory and tell that this is what this person is. If you memorized what is capital of India, you will be able to tell it is New Delhi. You don't need any great intellect. And this is what guides most of our intelligent behavior throughout the day. The second part is intelligence by computation, in which you have to apply methods, processes, formulae to be able to arrive at results. For example, if I ask you what is the area of a circle, you can't fetch it from your memory. You need to know the area, the formula for the area of circle, substitute it in the multiplication table, find the radius, create the square of it, multiply it by pi, and then you get the answer. And that's what computational intelligence is all about. Computers were always good at comparative and computational intelligence because it was meant to be so. The new brand that you call as AI is nothing but finding a curve of best fit to the data set that you got, which means you've got a lot of labeled data with which you are trying to arrive at output or interpolating the data to give the output, which means you're finding a point in that curve. That cannot be intelligence. That's again computation, right? But intelligence has got a third component to it, and that's called cognition. And what does cognition mean? So if Einstein discovered theory of relativity, he didn't fetch it from anybody's memory or his own memory. It didn't exist before he found it out. It can't be computed and arrived at, because then some computers or some, Shakuntala Devi could have done faster than Einstein. It requires a lot more abilities than merely computing and comparing. And that's where I come to. So unless and cognition becomes part of the triad, the intelligence is not complete. And when we talk about AGI today, the hunt is towards getting that cognitive element right. The question is, can machines do it? It can do it, but then there are methods to do it. So today's my question is, are we behind this? And if we find this answer, we will know why predictive intelligence is wrong, why we need to get the definition right, and if you're going to base our understanding on wrong definitions, we cannot profit from pixels. That's where I come from, sir.
All right, thank you very much for that interesting contrarian view. Vinay would like to invite you, please, for your opening comments.
Thank you, sir, for having us here. And thank you, sir, for this. So we are Skyserve. We are an edge computing company. We largely process data on board the satellites. What we do is we leverage the compute that's available that the sensors pick up as part of imagery, RF, IoT, or other data sets. Factor natural elements like cloud cover, distortions, noises, etc. on board. And we process between L0 to L2A as a part of autonomy and deliver this as a pre-processing solution to the use cases. That could be for agriculture, water, border monitoring, fire detection, etc. in real time and relative real time both, based on the infrastructure that we have. And we have done a couple of missions where the way we see this, some of my co-panelists have given some of the opinions, is where there is a Nokia 3310 kind of a phone. The primary purpose of the phone was to communicate from A to B or send messages from A to B on a set of protocols using the terrestrial network. When the smartphones came in, it was just not a phone. It was also a sort of an edge device. It's a collaborative device, and it's also a device that helps you with collaboration. It also helps you with many other things. We see satellites as a smart satellites doing that. Typically, we are living in a world of sensor silos. There's a constellation for AIS. There's a constellation for multispectral. There's a constellation for hyperspectral. Users across the world are taking all this data and then saving information, leaving out a lot of them, and then building out products. We are looking at ways how these silos can be eradicated and then giving out value from these pixels from the user perspective. Unless we do a correlation to that and create out a clear value stream of data, users cannot build out ingenious products for themselves. And that's what we are looking to see how we can complement on.
Fantastic. Árisz, over to you.
Thank you very much for having me. I will approach this from a different perspective, more from an actual business model perspective, because what we do and what my job actually is going to be is to turn those pixels into profits. And I absolutely agree. Very probably, cognizant intelligence is not something that my satellites will have at first. Computational, probably, yes, because it makes sense. But what my job essentially is going to be is to package that data and provide it to the different serviceable markets and industries that we've identified. And there are so many different industries who need to be served so differently in these, how should I put it? On use case levels. If you look at, I don't know, defense use cases, those are going to be extremely different from agricultural use cases. How you use AI in these instances, how you process and how you actually package it into something actionable or insightful is going to be different from industry to industry. And the needs of these stakeholders are going to be very different case by case as well. So if you look at defense use cases, for example, there you need to be, at least this is the case for Hungary or Europe that I can talk on, is that there is going to be a need for control on the MOD side, for example. For them, there you only need to provide the raw data and they want to do the processing. But if you are looking at farmers, for example, they are looking for insights. So there you need to do your processing yourselves and then provide them with the solution that they are looking for. So it's so different on the vast industries, and then how you utilize AI is going to be very different use case by use case as well.
Right, yeah, thank you for your opening comments. I'd like to bring a few topics which we are going to discuss here this morning. till we are physically thrown out from this room. I'd like to begin with you, Vinay. You spoke about the complexity around data fusion. And you spoke about how there are many technical hurdles that have to be crossed. My question to you is, what are the barriers that you see to seamless integration of diverse data streams? And importantly, how can organizations still leverage data fusion in real world scenarios? And can you share some good examples? And if you have some secret sauce around the algorithms that you guys have written, you can share it. I mean, we're amongst friends here.
Thanks. I guess we'll take the last one first with respect to the use case examples, so that we go through more a practical approach here. Well, I touched upon sensor silos. There's a company called Spire, which has got millions of dollars of VC money and invested to build out an AIS constellation. So it gives the ship position real time across the world. And that's a data that's multiple organizations and countries have bought. And there is Planet, which gives you imagery data across the world for multispectral. Both these data are being purchased and sold to organizations across the world. 70% of Earth's atmosphere, 67 to 70% to be corrected, is filled with clouds. Whenever the image for a user's areas of interest, a lot of images that's been downlinked is not useful. Second part, AIS creates millions of data points. Unless they are correlated, they're not useful. If you can create, as in take a new data stream, which is AIS plus multispectral, to identify ships, whether it's for fishing, EEZ violation, or for defense, or for others, you have a data line that's giving value to the user instantly. This is something as a value of sensor fusion that has to happen so that you don't have silo sensors for which you are paying for or spending a lot of cloud and ground station time and others for, and users can get this as a data stream now. Some of things that we have already done in this regard has also helped us practically say this in this forum as well, because unless you have a fused data set, you can't get enriched insights for the use cases, and that's what is practically happening, sir.
Right, and do you find, Vinay, just to kind of close this on, are you finding that we have adequate technologies to be able to resolve these issues?
Yeah, we do have adequate technologies to resolve these issues, but we are still an elephant, and that has to dance very fast, is how I see it.
Thank you. Wing Commander Sudhakaran, let me come to you. You have shared some very interesting perspectives around the use of the word predictive intelligence. So I am a bit now hesitant to use that word sitting next to you, because being from the armed forces, I don't know from where the missile could actually get launched towards me. But if I were to still kind of try my luck, from raw pixels to predictive intelligence, can you share what kind of breakthroughs you have seen, particularly in AI-led EO analytics? And I will go with your definition of predictive intelligence. But if you can just share any breakthroughs that you have seen.
So this complete journey of intelligence starts from elementary automation, then comes analytics, then comes digital transformation, then comes machine learning, deep learning, which still is in the realm of automation, advanced automation it is. Then comes what is called as Gen AI, what we see today. That also 99% of that is probabilistic outcome or computational outcomes. They're still not cognitive. Then you have agentic AIs, which are again narrow-centered to give an enhanced experience of intelligent behavior, still not there. And then comes AGI.
Yeah.
So that's where the line gets drawn. So intelligence starts beyond that. That's why if you actually look at the Apple report, Apple called it out. Apple said these generative AI also guesses the tokens on probabilistic theories.
Absolutely.
And that's mathematical in nature, and that's why it is computational. Now, looking at what is the breakthrough, right, today. So I work on data fusion. So I would like to call it automation, not intelligence, because there is a rule based to it. Because there is, for example, I'll just give you a practical example which happened a month back, which was like, it will go down in history as one of the greatest achievements in warfare. What Israel did to Iran. It took out 9 of its top commanders with a precision strike. It may look very easy from the outside. What this means is they knew whom they need to take out, why they need to take out, where that person was exactly at that point of time, and they wanted to be absolutely sure it is the same person that has been taken out. Okay? Now this is one part of the story. The head of the Iranian Defense Force was taken out, a new head was appointed, and he was taken out in another 5 days, which means change of target, but still precision hitting. You have to understand the importance of this. We are so casual about what we are doing on Gen AI. You today, for every single answer, go to the ChatGPT, DeepSeek. You know what is happening? You are being profiled. So 10 years before, if the CIA wanted an information, say, about you, it had to send a human element into our territory, follow you, give money to people. Still, it wouldn't understand what you're doing. If you're a very secretive person, it's very difficult. But today, it has access to your Facebook, to your Google search, to your WhatsApp, and all these things, by the way, are compromised. It can, in 5 minutes, give a biography of you which you yourself wouldn't know about you, because some dirty secrets about you tend to forget. These machines don't. It can blackmail you tomorrow to submission, or it can take you out if it finds that you are a threat. That is the situation that we are in today. I can't disclose of some projects which some states are undertaking, not in India, and that's where India stands at crossroads. We've been telling the government that you've been losing out on the information narrative. You need to get that right. You can no longer live in a regime dictated by foreign corporates. Mind you, the parliament passed the farm laws. The parliament couldn't hold on to it. The prime minister was compelled to withdraw it. It was not a bad law. And who did it? It was information which did it, number one. I will take you 80 years back to Second World War. Second World War was not won by tanks and fighter aircrafts, if you thought so. It was won on information. The ability of Alan Turing to be able to break into German cyber enigma codes. That's the power of information. And today, China has already intelligencized its warfare, which means India is at more threat, greater threat. If you're thinking that we did well in Op Sindoor, yes, we did. But then we were fighting against a very weak army, not against the likes of Americans, the Israelis, or the Chinese. We are a superpower. We need to behave like one. And if we need to behave like one, we need to build technologies like one.
Very well said, Sudhakaran. Points to ponder, points to think. Dipyaman, let me bring you into an area which perhaps will be a bit more somber, if you will, and that's the area of hallucination. And I think one of the important things is around how AI tends to hallucinate, and Wing Commander Sudhakaran saying don't use that word, say automation, or intelligent automation if you still want to sound different. But hallucination exists. So in your experience, how do you ensure reliability? How do you make sure that hallucination does not impact outcomes?
Great question. I think I'm from the research side of things. I've been a research scientist in IBM research for 12 years, and now I'm in academia. So I will take a more academic approach or scientific approach to this topic, if I may. Hallucination is something that is, I would say, is sort of that we have to live with the current crop of generative models that are coming in. So if you can think of it like sort of collateral damage that is happening. But the good part is that we are getting better at containing it. So there are reinforcement learning based techniques where we are trying to constantly learn about where these machines are making hallucinations and trying to contain that, trying to solve those problems. There are AI safety that Google is currently working on, and Microsoft is also working on. Most of the big players are working on, where you are using AI to make safer AI. So that is, so we have been, just had a chat with one of the very senior Google engineer who is working on AI safety. And he explained to us that how LLMs can be made safer using other LLMs, right? And you can think of that then, who makes that LLM safer, right? So, but it is good to see that there is actually a convergence happening, and probably you can reduce the hallucination to a really, really low level where we are comfortable with that. And this is sort of the direction that we are seeing things are moving, where I am using AI to assist AI with obviously some human guidance. So exciting times ahead, I would say.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people use the term agentic AI as well, where you can chain or cascade multiple LLMs to kind of validate each other and so on and so forth. Since you have the mic, Dipyaman, I just want to ask you to continue this thread of discussion and look at Gen AI, but more from a perspective of business, given that you've straddled both these worlds. Can you share some interesting business opportunities, use cases around Gen AI, and how do you think academia, startups, industry, and government can come together to accelerate the momentum?
Sure. As you said at the beginning, I work at IIT Kharagpur, and I'm leading an AI innovation hub, trying to make world-class products and startups from academic scientific research, working in collaboration with the academia, government, and industry. So this ecosystem is extremely important. And I will get more into that. But before that, let me touch upon some of the interesting use cases which I see where we can make immediate impact. Obviously, the data that we are gathering from satellites and applying AI to it, the use cases across domains, the possibilities are endless. And many of them we don't even know. So whatever I'm saying is by no means is an exhaustive list. But this is some of the things I think that automatically comes to mind. But in order to structure this conversation a little bit, let me just go back to what in current form of AI, the way we see it, what are the main tasks that the AI does? And they are, one, prediction, discrimination or classification, sometimes we say that, detection, generation, that's a new kid on the block, reasoning, planning. These are more going into the cognitive side of things, which are already we are doing good work, but there are more to come, there are more advancements to come. And now if I map these different abilities to domains, we will see that many of the use cases automatically emerge. To start off with, climate modeling, right? So in climate modeling, satellites are extremely well for climate modeling, and we are seeing climate from our old days of television, right? So we are getting weather forecast. But now it is, you can think of climate modeling on steroids when I apply AI to it. So with these very, very sophisticated sensors on board our satellites, hyperspectral cameras, thermal and optical sensors, and taking that data, beaming them down to Earth and fusing them with, say, data that is coming from sensors, UAVs, we can actually do and then apply models like deep learning models like CNN and other deep learning models, so RNN. So we can actually create models, climate models, and can do long-term prediction, long-term climate change predictions. We can actually simulate how the Earth is going to look like, how the heating of the Earth is going to affect, say, glacier meltdowns or ocean retraction. So those things, desertification. So all these things we are able to model and simulate, which gives us more eyes and ears to how our Earth is behaving. And to add to that, we are now getting into the realm of prediction of disasters, much better than we could do before. I mean, think about if I can predict flash floods, right? If I can predict more different climatic disasters. You will say, what use cases does this give me? It helps almost everybody. Think about supply chain providers.
Dipyaman,
think about,
can you, because I got a
travel
got
and
a nudge.
transportation. Sure. So everywhere, or even insurance players, right? They can use these early morning signals, and it can help in their businesses. Obviously, there are other use cases in healthcare, and you can see epidemiology changes. Maritime, I think Vinay has already told about it. There is also, we can definitely see in terms of telecommunication where we can converge the SATCOM and the mobile networks to get to the next generation of telecom. We are now seeing direct link of from mobile to satellites. And think about if I can have agentic AI on top of it. I can actually, the satellites can talk to each other, can talk to humans, and it can actually be more coordinated and more intelligent. So use cases are endless, and these are the different areas where it can go into.
Thank you very much, Dipyaman, for that very exhaustive list. Wing Commander Sudhakaran spoke about sovereignty and the importance of data and localization. I'd like to bring Árisz into this discussion. And from your perspective, as you go around the world, do you see current regulations hindering or helping the EO ecosystem? What is your experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that the European talks on regulation. What Europe does best is regulate, which from an industrial perspective is not always the best because it really hurts competitiveness. And this is something that we have been facing for a long time. Does it have a lot of benefits? Yes, I agree, but competitiveness is something that we also need to take into account, because what needs to be seen, and this applies to EO as well, and EO data usage, and how you can train your models, how you can utilize the data that you have. If it's overly regulated, which is the case in Europe's case, in August 2025, they are going to implement the AI Act, which, again, from a citizen's perspective, has a lot of added values, because you feel a lot of protections, and then there's a lot of rules around how your data can be utilized, how you can utilize Earth observation data, for example. What the issue is that if there is China or the US where everything is unregulated, then you just cannot get to the same level as you could if you would have lighter regulations around the technologies that are there. And this has, in my opinion, caused serious competitive issues in Europe's case, and this is something that we see as well. And this, if we look at specific EO use cases, how these very or ultra high resolution pictures are export controlled within Europe, how you can utilize the data, how you have to be extremely transparent to lawmakers on how you use the data that you have extracted. And this doesn't only go for the defense use cases, this also goes for agricultural use cases. That administrative burden that you have to have with that creates a lot of barriers for us to be competitive on the global market. And I think here we have, it's a a toss of two coins, right? So there are positive elements to it and negative elements to it. But if you look at the complexities of the world and how these deregulated markets like the US, like China, I would say, in terms of AI for sure. I am not sure how India is in that regard, but I think it's somewhere in the middle. It is a significant competitive disadvantage.
Do you think India should regulate a lot more around its data ecosystem based on your European experience?
No. It's a short and
Wing
sweet
Commander
answer.
Sudhakaran is not happy with your answer, right? So my data is your data, but your data is not my data.
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
That can't be true. I want to open it up to your comment, Wing Commander. Go ahead.
So, in the realm of AGI, there is no real regulation that is possible. Because if regulation was possible, you could have contained China. You know, you can write any level of MOUs you want, any level of law that you want. Big powers don't follow it. That's the real thumb rule. So when you're talking about something like an AGI, please understand intelligence coexists with the ability to deceive. If you cannot deceive, if the deception algorithm is not at the core, it's not intelligent at all. Because then it becomes too predictive. And that's why I said, if you are predictive, I can hack you. Because if I know, if I'm going to ask you a question, and I know what you're going to answer, so I can model my question always in such a way that I can get the answer that I want. Which means you as a person will no longer have your identity in place, because I am manipulating you. And if AGI comes into play, it will manipulate you because it operates at a dimension which is beyond our cognitive abilities.
Absolutely.
Therefore, it cannot be regulated.
So you need to take Wing Commander Sudhakaran along with you to the European regulators, so he can repeat the same message to them, and hopefully that will help you because you want to open up.
Exactly.
We are in the last few minutes of our discussion, and what I'd like to do is, when I want to bring you in, we're going to talk about the future. And what are some of the new business models that you see going forward into the future? How do you see the future of real-time EO analytics? How is that going to shape up?
I think the future is already here. It's just that it's not, it's like a phrase, wake up and smell the coffee kind of thing. The fact that geospatial applications, whether it's for Earth observation, for other use cases, for long have been built on the ground, and there is an opportunity right now, and already started, where these applications can be moved up on board the satellite itself, so the users can look at and process data of what's useful for them at the edge on board the satellites itself. This has been demonstrated previously by NASA with multiple missions, and one such mission with us, where we've taken 9 of their geospatial models. These are performing on the ground, but we highly optimize them to work in a compute constraint and a space environment. They have given the results. US DoD is already doing it, ESA is doing it. This helps reduce the data footprint, reduce latency, and give user what he wants, apart from also downloading all the raw images or the spectral bands for the use cases as well. This sincerely democratizes the cost of compute, cost of data processing for geospatial data products, helping them sieve into various use cases, so it's affordable and it's distributed, and people can build out much more value for themselves and for the further along for the users.
Right, thank you, Vinay. We've got a couple of minutes left, and I just want some last quick comments. Dipyaman, we're going to begin with you. Last comments. And then we have to wrap up this session, otherwise the ladies are going to get bouncers to show us the door. So go ahead, Dipyaman.
Quick and concise. I think we are heading towards a great time, and AI and space is a marriage made in heaven. So this is where amazing use cases we are going to see going forward, as we said, across agriculture, across insurance, across healthcare. We are going to see many use cases and applications, and actually people making profits from using this incredible amount of data and then applying these amazing technologies that we have developed and continue developing, applying them together, fusing all this data. So I'm being very optimistic and looking forward to this incredible collaboration between AI and space technology.
Thank you, Dipyaman, for your comments there. Árisz, your last words before we start concluding.
I absolutely agree. I'm also very much looking forward to what's next and what's coming. I think that there are going to be fantastic technologies that companies like us can implement to really utilize the commercial power of EO data. I think this is still going to be the biggest, after SATCOM, this is going to be the biggest commercially viable segment of space for a long, long time. And I'm extremely excited to package this and then actually sell it.
So the most viable commercial segment in the entire satellite ecosystem.
After SATCOM. SATCOM is going to still stay like a legacy.
I thought you were going to put a full stop before SATCOM. But thank you very much. I think that's really a quotable quote out there. We'll include the word SATCOM, as you said, because that's quoting you fully and not out of context. I'd like to end the session by requesting Wing Commander Sudhakaran. So I'm not using the word predictive anymore, but I hope I can use the word intelligence. I hope that's okay. Some sort of intelligence.
We are all blessed by it, sir. We must use it.
Over to you, sir.
You've used the word intelligence. We are at the cusp of a revolution of sorts, a revolution which humanity has not seen. Whatever humanity has discovered so far is born out of the womb of the intelligence that we biological beings carry. That's the last bastion which is likely to get obsolete in some time. I often refer this, I'll quickly end this with one line. We all know about Darwinian evolution. And somehow we tend to believe that evolution ended with us. But it is a continuous process. And the next step of evolution probably is the intelligent ability of a biological being being transformed from this biological framework into a synthetic framework. That's what AGI is all about. It's better we learn it. And that's where our journey to data sovereignty begins, because national sovereignty will now depend on your ability to have data sovereignty. And that's why it is important that we need to build it intelligently, indigenously, and this is the only technology we cannot buy from outside and use it. India needs to build it by itself.
India needs to build it by itself, and with that, I'd like to say a very big thank you, a warm round of applause to my co-panelists here. Thank you very much for listening in. Hope you enjoy the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to hand it back to the lovely ladies out there, and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much to all of our panelists, to that truly insightful conversation and meaningful conversation. As a token of gratitude and appreciation, we now present the mementos to our eminent speakers. So I request our moderator, Manoj, Chugh, please present the mementos to our panelists.
Thank you very much for coming. Have a wonderful, wonderful
So may I invite Kecskés, SIA-INDIA, to present the memento to our moderator, Manoj, Chugh.
Thank you for sending all those slips saying.
Please put forward for the photograph.